Hey guys, I don't have the color organ video finished yet, but since my workspace is reasonably neat and organized right now, I thought I'd do something different and show you around and let you see where the magic happens, where all the videos and circuits are made. So we're going to give that a shot today, and here we go. Starting down at this end of the room, I've got a chest full of just about every vacuum tube that would be useful for troubleshooting, fixing, or designing an amplifier. I've got all of the usual 12AT, AU, AX7s, and so on, EL84s, 34s, 6L6s, just about anything you could ever need for audio work is in here. Now, let's see, we've got a box of RCA connectors with shielded cable. These are great for connecting reverb tanks to amplifiers, so I've got a big pile of those here. Coming over this way, we've got the bookshelf with various books and some guitars resting against it. Here we've got my assortment of silicon wafers. Here's an old radio I restored that's pretty cool. This is an old shortwave radio that I built back when I was in junior high school about 100 years ago. Still have that thing. A couple other amplifiers I've built. And if we come down this way, I've got a box of parts that's going to be used in the next amplifier design project I'm going to take you guys through. This will go from concept to finished product. So these are the parts. I think this is the chassis I'm going to use. At least that's what I'm planning on now. And over here we've got some other amplifiers I've built in the past and a couple of guitars. Here we've got one of my cat's favorite sleeping places, and over at the end of the room we've got a desk with an old decommissioned oscilloscope. I replaced this with a nicer one, and we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Got some transformers, data sheets, guitar picks, more books, and up here is my cool Ohm's Law clock that was a gift from Billy Zoom, a really excellent musician and amplifier guru himself. This is my computer area. There's the printer, the actual computer, and my monitor. Right now I've got P-Spice up there. I was doing some work with that. And down here is my tablet that I use for handwriting equations and so on when I'm making videos. That thing is like really awesome and probably the best investment I've ever made in computer hardware, at least for making YouTube videos. Next up, we've got some miscellaneous hardware storage here. This is the setup I use for prototyping power amplifier output stages. Got assortments of LEDs, high voltage capacitors. I got a whole bunch of these for a really good price years ago from Antique Electronics Supply. Probably 20 of those capacitors for like $30. It was a really good bargain. And there's some other filter caps, heat shrink tubing, turret board for amplifiers. And if we come down in here, I've got some stomp box cases, various audio and power transformers, parts for guitars, all kinds of knobs and pickups and, you know, that kind of hardware. And over here we've got the area where I actually do all of my circuit prototyping and so on. If we start on this side, I've just got box after box of capacitors and transistors, trim pots, you name it. Down here, let's see, what we've got right here is tube sockets and terminal strips and indicators of various types. Underneath, I've got phone jacks and switches and connectors. There's a bunch of stomp box switches. And beneath that is more hardware, screws, nuts, bolts, that kind of stuff. A couple proto boards with potentiometers mounted makes these very convenient for designing effects circuits. Next door here, I've got capacitors, perf board, and prototyping stuff. Down below here in this drawer are a bunch of transistors and things. Now up top, more capacitor assortments and so on. I've got a giant load resistor here, some SCRs, more power resistors, a bunch of cool germanium power transistors, other ones potentiometers. Here I've got some power resistors and small transformers, more power resistors, and more potentiometers. And next door here, we've got the test equipment area. Starting over here, this is the function generator that I'm using right now. And underneath it is a power supply that I almost never use. To its right, another function generator. And sitting on top of that is an adjustable bipolar power supply I use when I'm working with op amps and transistors. The little black box here is just a small low power amplifier I use for testing purposes. This is the high voltage power supply I built to work with vacuum tube circuits. That thing's been super handy for this video series. And over here is my oscilloscope. It's a DHO914. And I can run this thing remotely from the computer, and I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes. But over here we've got a 3-channel color organ circuit that'll be in the next video. Resistor assortment, soldering station, couple DMMs. Over here we've got more amplifiers and test leads, and you can never have too many amplifiers, right? Down underneath, I've got my assortment of stomp boxes, mixers, and so on. Keyboard for controlling the oscilloscope. And another guitar, some microphones. And that takes us over to the hand tools and some reverb tanks, step drills, various components, everything from transistors and diodes, field effect transistors, thyristors, inductors, integrated circuits, you name it, I've got it here. More books, more resistors and drill bits and test leads. And that pretty much wraps it up. Now, what I want to do next is just show you the software that I use to control the oscilloscope remotely. Now, I've switched over to screen capture directly from the computer so you can actually see what's going on. We come down here to the Ultra Sigma icon, click on it, and now that the program's up and running, I click on the LAN or Local Area Network button, and we're going to do a search for our oscilloscope. Here's its IP address. It found it, so we'll hit OK. Right-click on its identity in this list and hit LXI Web. This is the software that gives us the GUI to run the scope. We hit Web Control, and there's our scope. And we can close this thing. And now we can do anything from the computer that we could do directly on the scope. If I want to, I can look at all these different parameters for any given channel. If I wanted to do a fast Fourier transform on this signal, I'd come into the menu, hit the math selection. The operator is already set for FFT. I've got a lot of other choices, but we're going with FFT. We hit on, and there's our Fourier transform for this signal in the time domain. And if we want to, we can eliminate this clutter over here, and there we go. Between that and this little drawing capture tablet, it really is great for making videos. Before we wrap up this video, I thought I'd show you something kind of cool I had in my box of miscellaneous components and so on. These are called Selsyns, and they're kind of like old school servos. Right now they're not powered up, so I can just spin them at random and nothing happens. But let me power these things up and show you how they work. I just connected them to the 120 volt 60 hertz AC line, and you can probably hear them sitting there growling at me. And if I turn the one on the left, notice that the Selsyn on the right turns an equal amount. And the same thing happens if I turn the right hand Selsyn, the left hand Selsyn turns to match it. But an interesting characteristic of Selsyns is that not only do they match angular rotation, but they also match torque between the two units. So if I hold this one on the left and try and turn the one on the right, it resists, and the more difference in angular rotation, the greater the torque. So these have inherent force reflection or force feedback between the two units, and that's different than normal servo mechanisms. These were used back in World War II and on up through into the 60s in industrial control and other applications like similar to fly-by-wire and things like that. But there are no electronic components in here other than magnetic windings, and I thought this would be just something kind of cool to show you guys before we wrap things up for today. I might do a video on the theory of how these work one of these days, but we'll see. Anyhow, that's all I have to show you for today. Well, that's it for today's video. Something different. Hope you guys didn't mind. I'm gonna go grab some lunch, and I'll see you guys next time around.